Several years ago, while I was still in college, I participated in a program called Summer Global Leadership Institute, or SGLI for short. Basically, it was a summer camp for international and domestic students looking to become world leaders and to impact the world in positive ways, and I was kind of like a camp counselor. And we had students from all over the world participate in this program, from India, Pakistan, Africa, and since these were high school students and I had just finished my freshman year of college, we were all pretty close in age and were able to bond pretty easily. In the program, the students took leadership classes, did fun team building activities, and we even went on field trips. One of my favorite moments of that whole experience was on July 4th. It was a pretty relaxed day where we all went to a park, played outdoor games, had a grill going, and at night, of course, watched a fireworks show. Now, this was one of my favorite days, partly because I was so inspired by everything going on that I did what I do best and wrote a song. I was inspired by the fact that a bunch of people from all over the world could come together, embrace each other's cultures, and enjoy spending time with one another. It was kind of cool because the downtown area during that summer had actual pianos on almost every corner. So later that night, I routed up a few of the other counselors and we headed downtown to mess around on the pianos. So I basically wrote the entire song while downtown playing on the street pianos. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to share the song as it was written on the streets. Now that song was written, of course, about the experiences I had during that program, and yes, since it was written on the 4th of July, that is a very prominent theme in the song. So what I want to share with you today is how I was able to make that song sound like the 4th of July. 4th of July-y. 4th of July-esque? Now, since there aren't a lot of Independence Day songs, I kind of had to be creative with how I wanted to make this sound. So to make it easier on myself and not just have a general theme of the 4th of July, I took a lot of inspiration from fireworks. How I was able to make it sound like fireworks comes down to really two things, meter and melody. So let's start with meter. So now I'm going to play a short section of the piano part so you can get a good understanding of how the song sounds. So to break this down a little, it's clearly in 6/8, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And songs that are in this meter naturally have this light, easygoing, dance-like quality to them, partly why I chose this meter. I wanted to convey an easy, carefree, celebratory kind of emotion, much like that day was. Another thing about this meter is that each measure is really subdivided into two parts, and as I alluded to earlier, it's typically counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with a strong beat on 1 and 4. So how does this aid in making the song sound 4th of July-y? Well, as I mentioned before, I really wanted this song to sound like fireworks. And what's the nature of a firework? To have a big explosion followed by soft, beautiful aftertones of light and color, which is exactly what the 6/8 meter allows us to do. It has these strong beats on 1 and 4, followed by aftertones of beautiful light accents and colors. I'm gonna play it again so you can listen for what I'm talking about. Now, the second thing that I wanted to discuss was melody, and I was super intentional about the melodies in this song, most specifically at the end in the piano melody, so let me just play that for you. Hopefully from hearing that you can kind of get a sense of that firework kind of feel. But why exactly is that? Well, there are several aspects of this melody that are meant to portray this. One being that it is played on the higher notes of the piano, so it makes it seem light and airy, whereas if it were lower, it wouldn't portray this as easily. Another aspect being the up and down feeling of the melody. You have lines that go like this, giving the illusion of a firework going up and then its sparks going down. But then also you have moments in the melody where it goes like this. Giving it the feeling of the sporadic nature of fireworks. Now, would somebody be able to understand that this melody is supposed to emulate a fireworks show out of context? Maybe? But this brings up a point that I think is very important when you're creating your own songs. Music is intended to stimulate the imagination, to convey emotions, memories, and even personal experiences. And not everyone who listens to your music is gonna get it, and that's totally fine. That's why there are so many different artists and genres. Each artist, across all art really, conveys their thoughts in their own unique way, and are going to affect the listener differently. So to all my songwriters and artists of any kind, your job is not to force your emotions and personal experiences onto someone. It's to convey your emotion to the best of your ability, in a way that someone who may be going through a similar experience can understand and relate, and thus add to the cycle of creative expression. So, in a moment, I will play the song for you, but before that, I will leave you with this. Remember that I'm always here to encourage you, and strongly believe that anything that pops in your head is worthy of becoming the next greatest hit, or artwork, or book, or play, whatever you make it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me to simply subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great 4th of July. Here is the 4th.
Around and crowd so tight, we sat side by side.